Webinaire here, and this is a video response based on another question. This time it's based on a video question, and it's actually a good question. The question was, does the new camera and microphone, and lighting and stuff like that, make it easier for me to shoot video? Does it make life easier using a better camera or something like that? And it's kind of a complicated question because it is and it isn't. Number one, what makes things easier for editing is experience. The more videos to shoot and the more you get into the editing, the more you get to learn your program, the easier it's going to be. Now, I'm a power user with the software I use. I use Visual Studio X3, and it's super easy to use, otherwise I wouldn't be a power user. It's enjoyable software. I'd like to have more features. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm to the point that I really wish I had the professional software now, but I don't have the computer to run that kind of software, and I definitely don't have the money to go ahead and purchase something like that. That's way out of my means. Software like that, I figured it'd take me about $3,000 in order to go ahead and convert to something like that. That's like $4,000 more than I have. You know what I mean? So the question then goes to, does a new camera make my editing job any easier? It can. The camera that I'm using has audio levels on it, and it's right on the screen. So if I go ahead and, I don't know what kind of cameras everybody else is using, and that'd be an interesting one to post a video response to, but kind of hard to do that because everybody got to use the camera to shoot the video response. So basically, mine's got it's got audio levels on it, and in the audio levels, I can see if the audio is peaking. Now, because I can see that, I try to go ahead and I try to tone it down a little bit. I either try to go ahead and turn it down on the camera if I can, and typically I cannot. It requires a XLR adapter in order to really do that right, and I don't have one. That's what I really need, is a good XLR adapter. Now, without an XLR adapter, the only thing you can do is basically do it in post-production, which is editing. You've got pre-production, which is setup, production, which is shooting the video, and you got post-production, which is editing, basically. And so it makes my life easier knowing what the levels are beforehand. Most people make a mistake and they make their videos too loud. I basically take the audio, I go ahead and I knock that down from 100% down to 80%. If there's any music in my videos, I try to go ahead and have that at 10%, sometimes 3%, depending on the music. But it's typically between 10 and 20. It really depends on the music. I try to use music that basically goes with the mood that I'm trying to portray in the video. Some videos require a really fast beat, and some of them a really slow beat, depending on what you're doing. But the camera goes ahead by having the audio levels that allows me to see what I'm doing. Now, the better, more expensive cameras you go, you can have better clarity. Now, this is my older camera. This is the one that I was using prior to this different one here. And this one right here is basically worn out. I actually wore this thing out. It's busted up on the bottom. And this wasn't the brand new camera when I got it either. I got this refurbished. Now, this right here is an HD camera, but the HD clarity between this one and the new one is day and night. It is a big difference. With this camera, I had to do a lot of color corrections and color enhancements and things like that. Sometimes I just played with the color for the hell of it. So things like that I was having to do with this camera. And this is not an expensive camera. So the cheap cameras, I had to do more work in editing. So when I bring this into my editing program, I was adding this and adding that, adding enhancements here, lighting enhancements there, and all that adds up into a longer time to process the video. The rendering time for some of the videos that I was shooting with this one is 6 or 8 hours. So depending on how many layers it's in there, I'll have typically 3 layers of audio in there between music or just regular audio or something else. So there's a lot of complexity in my videos that you never get to see and you'll probably never notice. So it's one of those weird things. So does my new camera make it easier? Yes, it does, because this new camera has better color. It's a 3CCD camera, so because it has better color, I don't have to do really any color correction at all. I do have to do a white balance, and I white balance, typically right now I white balance off of the temperature of the lights I'm using. I'm using fluorescent lights, regular house fluorescent lights, but nothing professional. Although I do have right now I have that professional one in the other room, which you can hear buzzing. The audio makes it easier, a lot easier than the one camera before this one. I didn't have a mic in on that one, so I was stuck with whatever the camera has. And every time you're stuck with whatever the camera has for audio, you're really screwed. And the reason is the microphones in these cameras, or regular cams, or even iPhones, whatever, they're very limiting, and they only pick up so much. So whenever you can go ahead and use a mic in and plug in, and this one has a mic in, and plug in, and you can use whatever kind of microphone you want to use. And I have, oops, almost had a cane up the ass. That would have been bad, especially with video. I have a few microphones, and they're for different purposes, and I use them for different things. Some of them, a couple of them are lavaliers and head mics and everything else, and shotgun mics. Every mic has a purpose. So the whole point is your regular camera mic has a purpose, and that's just picking up very close in family photo and family videos and stuff like that. It's not really a detailed microphone. Sometimes it's not even stereo. So by going from this one to a better one, or this one right here has a microphone input, and they can plug in microphones to it, but it didn't have the clarity. And I think what the deal is by using a better camera, a more expensive camera, when it was original, or when it was new, the camera had better components in it, and those components translate into better video and audio. So that's basically the whole point. By using the better camera, it makes it easier for me to do the editing. But the biggest thing is the experience in editing. Whatever you like to edit. And like I said, using toning down your audio, and not having, when you use music as a start or an end of your video, make sure that that's toned down. People don't want to have to turn down their speakers every time they watch your video. So it's just little tips that make it easier in editing, because you always know what you're going to be doing. For me, I have a title and I have an end credit, and I take those and they're already shot. They're the same for every video I do. And all I do is I just go ahead and I shoot my video and I drag it in. Using the new camera, it's even easier than using this. So that makes it even quicker for me. The new camera is 160 gigabyte, but it's a hard drive in there. And this one right here is whatever SD card I use. It depends on what kind of camera you're using and how you got to use it and how long it takes to go ahead and go from here to the computer. This one here took a little while. The new one doesn't take hardly any time at all. Makes my life easier. If it makes my life easier, I'm going to shoot more videos. So that's basically it. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to list them below. Every once in a while, if it's a good question, I'll go ahead and I'll answer it in video, like this one. And when it comes to these videos about video and audio and video, you're going to see more of them. But like I said before, it's not replacing my gun videos and gunsmithing and stuff like that. Just that there's certain videos I like to go ahead and throw in every once in a while, because if I can help people make better videos, it's going to make our whole community look better. And right now I'm not using pro lighting except for the one way out there, and that one right there it's not in the right position. Normally you want 3-point lighting. I don't have the room for any 3-point lighting, but I have 3-point lighting coming in. So I'll be doing the reviews on the 3-point lighting, and I'm going to be doing about a week or so, in 10 days. And I'm going to be doing video reviews on background stands and Muslims. Not Muslim. I'm talking about terrorists, although I wouldn't mind stringing those up, but muslin, as in cloth backgrounds. Typically, it's green screen for green or blue or chroma key, but in my case, it's actually green, white. I said the green twice because I get two. Black and gray. So I've got a few of them for different purposes. Some of them are for photography of guns, and other ones are just for future videos. So, any comments or questions, leave it below. And maybe I'll do this again sometime. I'm Weaponeer. Catch you in the next video. What you want? Come on.